So in the previous class, we had discussed about the different structures of proteins. So proteins are the most important workers in the cell, and the different structures of protein we saw was primary structure made up of a linear amino acid and the chain. Secondary structure were either the alpha helices or beta sheet can be formed, and the tertiary structure will actually give rise to three-dimensional shape. So it's a long amino acid. When you just contract it, then different shapes are formed, and the quaternary structure will have different subunits of the proteins. Okay, so these are different structures. Uh, One of the protein example I'll give you, like the spider web, which you know. Do you know it is stronger than a steel? For example, when you take if you take 1 kg of spider web and 1 kg of steel, and both you just see which is more stronger, it is always a spider web which wins. Okay, and they are 5 times stronger than a steel. Okay, so we see them as a very light this thing, but when you take the same, uh, the weight should be same of the steel and spider web, then this becomes spider web becomes stronger, and it's 5 times stronger, not double or something. 5 times, 5x. If this is one, you can think that is 5. Okay, tensile strength is very strong, and it is the web is around 1,000 times smaller than human hair. Just see spider, the protein which it release in the web is around 1,000 times smaller, and it's made up of thousands of nano strands. One strand of spiderweb, when you take in the nano level, it is having thousands of strands. Okay, so this why I gave this example is to show that proteins can be used for multiple different things by the organism. Here, it is for spider to catch the prey and so that it can get the food. Okay, and it also sticks to the prey, and thus the prey will not be able to escape, and the spider will go and eat. But see the technology how it can be used. It's a very good innovation which can be done. So you can, for example, if I have to produce steel from this, I just need to take that particular DNA which produces the genes which produce these proteins. I can cut that part of DNA and put it, say, in a bacteria. We call it as cloning. We put in bacteria and we can produce, and you don't need to mine steel also. You just need to produce these kind of proteins, and which will be very strong. That's a possibility. So these kind of things can be done if you study nicely the biological principles. Okay, so if some say arbitrarily I'll give, I don't know whether it's there in reality. In reality, it can be done actually. So if there are some student of civil engineer and you're going to construct a building, the steels which are there, now what we do is we mine those steels. Instead of mining, you just take the gene and by help of a biotechnologist, you cut the gene and put it in some bacteria, grow the bacteria, so it will give you a lot of proteins like this, and these proteins to make steel, it will be more stronger. Okay, and the only thing is there could be some steps which are challenging. If that is done, you can get a very good steel. So proteins are very very important like that. And this protein, I'll give you one example for disease, how this proteins can cause the disease. Okay, for example, the primary structure of one of the blood cell, that is the RPC, when you take, it is having this valine, histidine, leucine, threonine, proline, glutamine, glutamine, like this, and so on and so forth, primary structure. And when they become the secondary and tertiary three-terminal structure, it will be like this. And in the quaternary, there are beta units and alpha units. Okay, subunits together will form one complete quaternary structure of protein. This structure, when you see, it will be like a one cell of RPC. But say in the nucleic acid in the gene which produces this amino acid, say there was a mutation in the gene, and instead of glutamine, it produced at the sixth position in the primary structure valine. Okay, it is coding for valine. And from DNA to RNA to protein, when it comes, the amino acid will have valine in the linear structure. When this is folded, then you see the 3D structure is different. It should have been like this, but the structure is something different. Okay. In the structure, what will happen is when valine is introduced, it will have a hydrophobic region which will be exposed. Then comes the quaternary structure. Quaternary structure where a subunit alpha will bind to beta. It will bind correctly, but the hydrophobic region is exposed on both the sides. So what will happen is when you put it freely, many proteins are there. Other proteins will come and bind to this. Hydrophobic interaction will occur, and thus the RBC, it will be of this particular shape, of round spherical shape. It will be of sickle shaped. Okay, so sickle shaped protein will be produced. Why? Because many different proteins will bind to it, and because hydrophobic region is exposed, the other sickle celled proteins will also bind to it, and thus it will make sickle cell. Okay, whereas it should be of this shape. So what will be the consequence of this is there will be a sickle cell anemia. That is, the blood flow will not be just like this. It all occurred because of the sixth position one small mutation which occurred. We say mutation for changes in nucleic acid, one small change which gave this and this, and the person who has this disease, inherently genetic disease, he will have sickle cell anemia every time. For example, you can see in this video what will happen. These are normal blood cells, and you can see they all flow, but over here once a sickle, these are normal blood cell, but if the sickle cell is there, what will happen, you just see sickle cell, because they all aggregate, hydrophobic regions are available, they all aggregate, they will clog the pipeline, or the blood vessels in which blood has to flow. And when that is there, the oxygen carrying capacity will reduce substantially. So the person who is having the sickle cell anemia, he will not be able to respire properly. He will not have so much of energy like others. So slowly he'll progress into a weaker individual. Okay, it's just because of the single mutation in the sixth position. Instead of glutamine, you had a valine, which will be there in the sixth position of the DNA. Okay, of that particular gene. So much it can influence the individual itself who is having this. One more property of protein is that the protein will form this particular structure, just assume, okay? And when you heat up the protein, it will denature. Heating we call denaturation. That will cause the breaking of bonds and making it to primary structure. So it will come back to primary structure. Again, you don't heat up and provide a reduce the temperature. It will again go back to its own condition. Okay, that's very important of protein. So linear, you just leave it in a cool environment without denaturation. Even some chemicals can renature them. Even temperature is very important. It can denature them. Okay, some chemicals also can denature them. So without the influence of any chemicals or temperature or any other physical thing, you leave a protein, it will come back to the same shape. But there could be some differences. So it is reversible over here for many proteins, but it can also be irreversible condition. For example, the egg white, which you see when you heat, it will produce the white, but when you cool down, it doesn't go back to the same condition. Okay, so denaturing, it will denature, but it will not be able to go back to the same condition. Why? Because there will be different disulfide linkages which will be formed. Okay, that cannot come out. Actually, the protein egg white is made up of several proteins, and the several proteins are by such bond, and when you heat them, they turn into disulfide linkages, so they cannot go, not irreversible. Okay, irreversible it will become. Some proteins, when conditions are appropriate, it can be reversible also, like this protein. So structure, why I'm giving this example is to already tell you that the structure of a protein is very important. Once the structure is gone, the function also is gone for the protein. So it will not be able to function appropriately. So the worker protein, if it has to work properly, it has to be in a proper structure. The structure is gone, it will give rise to a disease. Okay. How the structure, so what the cell will do, how this structure will be properly done for the protein is, it will not take a risk and just leave the protein as proteins formed from we call it the process as the translation process. When this forms, it will not allow just like that the protein, okay, you form. It will give appropriate conditions for them. So how does it give the appropriate condition? There is one more protein called chaperonin. Okay, and the chaperonin will have the cap over here and the hollow cylinder will be there, and the DNA from which the protein will be produced, the gene, by the process of translation will go inside this, cap will be closed, and it will provide appropriate conditions such that without change in environment like appropriate temperature, appropriate pH, appropriate chemicals, everything will be appropriate so that correctly folded protein will come out. Only then the cell can manufacture proteins of certain particular shapes which will function, which will work. Okay, this just see in this video, like for example, these are E. coli cells, bacterial cells, and these bacteria, they inside they have chaperonin, and the chaperonin over here you can see a polypeptide or the amino acids together linear sequence together polypeptide is coming inside the chaperonin, It will bind to ATP also because the whole process requires energy, and closing of this cap will be there. And once you close the cap, then something which comes out as properly folded protein which can do the appropriate function. Okay, you can just see this video how things will occur. Okay, so one polypropylene inside, and in this cavity again, uh, you don't need to worry about grow ELESKs and all. These are for biology students. You only need to know that after using energy, the protein will be appropriately folded. Okay, that is very important. Just like some mixy kind of thing where it will be there. Okay, and some of the examples I'll give you over here. These are some proteins. Okay, and these proteins actually transthyretin, it should be of a particular shape, but it can change the folding. Okay, for example, over here, prions, tau protein, amyloid, beta, all these things are given. So they all, once the changes happen, you can see they all cause these kind of diseases like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, mad cow disease, or transthyretin amyloidosis. What is amyloid? Amyloid is initially we had seen that proteins can be either as alpha helix in the secondary structure of the beta sheets can be formed, but amyloid is a kind of thing where the sheet, beta sheets, alpha helices will turn into beta sheets. Okay, misfolding occurs out there. So when folding is not proper, the structure is not proper or anything, then they will form different kinds of misfolded proteins. Misfolded proteins can cause a disease. Like you might have seen in older age people, either your friends, family, or someone else, if you have seen, they have Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease. What is the symptom of these diseases is that they lose the memory, their hands will be involuntarily moving, and they cannot walk properly, they cannot navigate properly. So motor proteins will all be impaired, and no cognitively they cannot think properly also. Okay, so all these things will occur in aged people if they are predisposed to those diseases. So there, what exactly happens is the protein will be misfolded, so it will not be a functional protein, lose its function. That is the role to work. Um, that role of working will be lost, so it will lose its function. It will become non-functional because it will misfold. Misfold in the sense from alpha helix, it will all become beta sheets and thus become amyloid. Okay. Similarly, there is mad cow disease. This is a very rare disease, but this mad cow was because in some European countries and all, they used to feed the cow with some meat, everything and all. And this cow, when they were eating the beef or anything, they got this misfolded proteins and they had mad cow disease because of the madness of these people to feed the cows and eat the cows like that and all by giving meat. So we know like cow eats grass, but these people are giving meat and now it is banned. Before and thus they used to get this mad cow disease. Okay, and similar way the blood vessels everything will be blocked when or does transerythrin protein undergoes amyloidosis. Okay, and one more very interesting thing about protein is that naturally when you see We know that the membrane, the phospholipid bimembrane, this is the hydrophilic head and a hydrophobic tail, which is there of the bimembrane. And there is something called Nobel Prize also was won on this discovery. So aquaporins were found. That is, aquaporin is some proteins which will let in the water molecules to flow in them. This has given a lot of bio inspiration to. But over here you can see that water. The diffusion is you all must have studied in your school. That is from higher concentration to lower concentration, the molecules flow. But over here, the water flow with active because the protein requires active. So it opens the gate and water flows and closes the gate. So it leaves the water. But similar way, what will happen over here importantly is water is just let inside. Okay, it takes up all the solutes in the water, and these solutes will be taken by the protein, and only the other parts of the water will be left. Similar kind of the polluted water, where polluted water will go inside the aquaporin kind of protein. It will take all the solutes and only the nice purified water will be let inside. Okay, this kind of membrane technology by this bio-inspiration was done. For example, in the kidney, these kinds of aquaporins are very predominant because the water filtration will occur in the kidney. These kind of aquaporin proteins are very high in the kidney. Okay. Well, before I go to other topic of the proteins, do anyone have any questions? I'll be happy to answer you. I go to next topic. Any questions anyone would like to ask me? I just have some water. You can think and ask me by then. So proteins are very important for structure as well as it is very important for function. Okay. So next is the topic of enzymes. These are mostly it's all proteins itself. Okay. So proteins itself, they just a minute. I think I forgot to share this with you all. I'll share the screen. Can you all look the screen? Look at the screen. Yes.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, it is visible. Okay, good. So the next topic is the enzymes. Enzymes are also made up of proteins. So the proteins in the quarter-life structure, some will act as enzymes. What are these enzymes? I'll be telling you. So before I go to this, we had seen how proteins can act as structures. Like I give you one example of this spider web itself, or there are many other examples. It can act as a storage. It can act as structure, storage, and for communication, everything. It can act. Okay, proteins. Proteins are very important for multitasking, but essentially they are the worker. In that, one of the primary work which they do, the proteins is they act as enzymes. What are these enzymes? When you see, first let us see this thing which we had discussed previously. That is, two things are very important for a machinery, that is a cell. One is the dehydration reaction and one is the hydrolysis reaction, the making up and breaking down of a molecule. Okay. So in the making up of a molecule, water molecule will be released and a polymer will be formed. Breaking up, so water molecule will be taken inside and it will be broken. And over here, when the bond is formed, it could be, for example, the glycosidic bonds while making the polysaccharide molecule, or the phosphatized bond while making the DNA molecule, or for example, the peptide bonds while making the polymer of the proteins with unit amino acids. Okay. So for essentially, a cell is either making up dehydration reaction or breaking up, that is the hydrolysis reaction. Okay, but this reaction, when it occurs, let's say for example, the reactants were AB plus CD, that gives rise to A and C plus B and D. These are the products. Okay, let's say that breaking up, so AB is broken down, hydrolysis reaction, CD is also broken down, and what is made up dehydration reaction which took place was AC was formed and BD was formed. Okay, let's assume like this. So what is happening over here? Hydrolysis reaction, breaking up of A and B, breaking up of C and D is occurring over here. And what is made up by dehydration reaction is AC and BD has been made up over here. So these are the products. Okay. So ABCD gave rise to AC and BD. Now to break or to make the reaction, if it has to proceed by itself. For example, if these are reactants, the A, B, C, D reactants, when they have to become ACBD, they require a lot of energy to break as well as to make. Okay, it is not easy for them, because naturally, if you take, for example, this progress of reaction, when you take to make AC and BD from ABCD, it may take around even many years. One reaction may take different time intervals, may be for different reactions depending on the energy which is required. That we call EA, or the activation energy. So activation energy is a state where it has to be broken down and making up will occur. It may take many time, a long time, and this long time may vary. It may also be up to years. This is what I'm telling hypothetically. Okay, so it will necessarily be a long time for the activation energy to take place. So AB should be broken up, CD should be broken up, and they have to be made, and then the last product will be, their energy level will be lower than the ABCD level. Okay, that's how this will occur. So this, before, they have to go through a transition state which requires more higher level of energy, and for this energy to achieve, they need a lot of things. For example, sometimes you can also raise the temperature, but again, some will be varied and they require more time. Progress of the reaction might be more. Okay, and the energy required also might be more. So you heat up so that the energy of the reaction will go up. Okay, so when this is the case, now what proteins will do is, protein will, for example, this is uh, same thing as You see in the combustion engine or the whatever bike or car or any two-wheeler you have, you just take oxygen and some petrol, and the oxygen will help them to break down, and this will be broken down into carbon dioxide and water molecules. So you have the hydrolysis reaction taking place over here. This will broken down and that will give the momentum to any of the engine to work, or engine to ride a bike or propel a car or anything. The propelling this thing will be by breaking this. Same things happen in our body too. For example, we all have the food. Now it's lunchtime, we have a food time to time, and now when we have the lunch or anything, that food which goes inside has to be broken down completely. It will be by digestion. From mouth itself, that digestion will start and breaking down. At last, even the last molecule will be broken down. Say the last molecule, let's assume it to be glucose, and that will be broken down, and that will give the electrons. And I told you, just like electricity generation, the electrons are also moving on the membrane, and the one which will accept the electrons will be the oxygen. Okay, and they will accept the electrons and become the water. And through this electricity generation will also be there. Okay, that is what happens. But as I told, the energy required for any reactant to go to a product, the activation energy is very high, which will take a longer time. Now everything, a catalyst will come over here. We call catalyst. It could be some chemicals occurring. Of course, the proteins are also chemicals, but biologically relevant chemicals. That is the very efficient kind of protein, so called enzyme. So the enzyme will go over here. They will reduce the activation energy significantly. Once this is reduced, the time taken will be very less. This will go to a product. Okay, it will not wait for natural course to take place over here, whereas the significantly the activation energy will be lowered by the help of protein. So what is the enzyme doing over here is it is lowering the activation energy of a reactant to product. When the pathway is there, the activation energy for reactants to go will be lowered significantly and a product can be formed. So it is acting as a catalyst. Okay, this we call catalysis reaction. So it's acting as a catalyst and it will bring down the reaction time. Okay, this is what enzymes are doing, and this is done by even the all most of the enzymes are made up of the protein. This is the most important work which is done by the protein. Okay, I will stop here. Let's discuss the next things in the next class, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions if you have.